Hello, my name is David Holt. I'm a voice actor. I've been around a long time. You may know me from way back as the voice of Oakie Doke and all his friends. I was in the series Percy the Park Keeper. I was in Brambley Hedge. I've been in Rupert Bear, Magic Roundabout, Angry Kid. More recently, you may know me from the series Tree Foo Tom, Rough Tweet and Dave, and right up to date, The Rubbish World of Dave Spud, Alphablocks and Numberblocks.
You're watching In Conversation
with Amber the Fangirl. Ho, 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 ho.
Hi guys, Amber here. Welcome back to another episode of In Conversation with ATF. Now, you know when you say you were growing up, you grew up, oh yeah, Tara Strong, Frank Welker was a part of my childhood, Grady Lau was a part of my childhood. Well, for my childhood, it wasn't any of those guys. It was British voice actors. And I've got one here with me, my first British voice actor I've had on the show. I can't tell you how many times I've heard this man's voice on a kids' TV show growing up as a little kid in the northwest of England. My guest is the voice of, right, lots of credits here, so I'm going to try and get through as many as I can. Okay. The dad in Angry Kid, Shere Khan in The Jungle Book, that's the 2016 CGI cartoon, number 7 and number 9 in Numberblocks, the narrator in the Thompson Friends Hero of the Rails video game, Pinky in the Pinky and Perky show, Dougal and Brian on the television Magic Roundabout reboot, you know, the one that was released after the film, Beef the Bus in Wheels on the Bus, Muffin in Muffin the Mule, the CBeebies reboot, the UK voice of Nick Jr.'s face, Vervain and Boxwood in Watership Down, the cartoon series, Captain Thrice and Sproggle in Lavender Castle, Oakie Doke in Oakie Doke. Pablo in Pablo the Red Fox, Hubert in Sheep, you know, got the one I had on CBBC. Not a lot of people remember that, to be fair.
No, it's
very obscure. Fisherman Finn and Messenger Mo in Engie Benjy, Henry and Leo in the UK dub of Oswald, Holly, Gus and Stink in Miss Spider's Sunny Patch Friends, UK dub. And these are all the UK dubs that I'm going to say now. Hamilton in Maggie and the Ferocious Beast, Snook in It's a Big, Big World, very obscure series, but I remember it quite fondly. Bot in Timu Mizumi, Steggy in Harry and His Bucket Full of Dinosaurs, and also several characters in Alphablocks, Fetch the Vet, The Magic Key, Percy the Park Keeper, Brambley Hedge, Little Monsters, Ape Escape the video game, and tons more. He's like the England's answer to Frank Welker. My guest is David Holt.
Thank you, Amber. Thank you so much. That's nearly 30 credits you've read out there. So,
yeah. And there's more.
I'm staggered. There are more, actually. Yes, you're right. I was totting up, calculating or adding up the other day the number of series I've worked on, animated series, since I first began my career in animation, and it's 100. I've worked on 100 series, and that's no word of a lie, since I first began in the early 90s. So, yeah, it's many years. That's over many years, but I'm sort of rather proud of that, reaching that figure. So, yeah, you've named a third of them. Well done.
That's pretty much most of the ones I grew up with, if I'm being honest.
Great.
Yeah,
lovely to meet you. Lovely to be here and talk to you and your viewers.
Yeah, this isn't recorded live. This is recorded and edited and then stuff. I don't think I'd ever do a live interview. To be fair, it's not really my thing. I don't, because people just fire in all sorts of random questions and stuff. I just kind of just laid back, and then I can just edit it later on if I look.
Yes, absolutely.
Like that.
Yeah,
So,
cool.
Yeah. So, how are you, David, this fine evening?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you. Yeah, absolutely fine, thank you, Amber. Yes, and I'm here in my place in London, as you can see in the background.
Yeah.
My little pad. It's several stories high.
Oh, time for a chance. Seen that.
Crafty, but
Yeah, I haven't seen that in quite a while. And last time I went to London was actually to see helicopter ride about 2 years ago next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hope to go back soon, but
Yeah.
What I have to go for.
That's it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it just depends on what I have to go for, because sometimes I don't usually go just for sightseeing. I usually go if there's like an event down there I have to go to or stuff. I mean, EAG is where this was revealed.
Or to see a show or something like that.
Yeah, Yeah, so last 3 times I've went is to go to EAG, which is like an amusement a machine exhibition at the
Ah,
Excel.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh, yes. Over in
ob-
East London. Yeah.
yeah, and obviously
Mm.
this year it was canned due to COVID, and I can't go to the one in January because it's on when I'm in college, and I can't miss any days because it's a full-time course, and missing it affects my grades. So yeah.
Don't. Yeah, there will be others. You can go in years to come. So don't worry about that.
Yeah, well, all the ride companies are just dropping from it at the moment. I mean, obviously, as I said, Northern Leisure, who, yeah, for those out there, I was the voice of the helicopter. Yes, I've said this about 100 times. I was the voice of the helicopter for them. The final ride, David was the voice, well, part of the voice of the Joey JCB kiddie ride and the Magic Roundabout train kiddie ride, the video option version.
Mm-hmm.
I think many Corner Bridge fans will know what I'm talking about. Because, yeah.
Well, well done, because I had no idea.
And also, oh no, it wasn't Northern Leisure. It was Jolly Roger Amusement Rides who did the Wheels on the Bus kiddie ride, which was actually at my local Mothercare for a few years until it closed. So
Yeah, sadly, yes, yeah.
yeah, so yeah, I mean, obviously you've worked on all these British TV shows and dubs, and some of them have had unique cast members. I mean, Wheels on the Bus, Dawn French is the narrator, and many other. I'm just looking at the credits now. Actually, I literally just have a note of all your roles, and I just keep looking down it just to pick like that. So, oh yeah, like go ahead.
Oh, I'd forgotten. Half. Not the projects, but certainly a lot of them. I can't recall who was in them, because, well, being animation, very often you don't meet the rest of the cast at all. But yeah, you have much more knowledge than me, Amber. So I'm in your hands.
It's all in my Asperger's. As I say, autism isn't my superpower because I've autism.
Yes.
So yeah, as I was saying, stellar voice cast, because we're looking at this. You had Anton Deck in Engie Benjy. You had Jim Broadbent in Percy the Park Keeper. John Gordon Sinclair and Floella Benjamin in Fetch the Vet. And yeah, he's just wow, just what a cast.
Yeah. The Brambley Hedge series, that had some really
June Whitfield was in it, I believe.
Yeah, some very very ritzy cast members in that. There've been a lot of over the years, but again, as I say, you seldom meet any of the rest of the cast, unless it's perhaps at a screening or a premiere. Then that's when you tend to meet the rest of the cast. But most of the time, you work in isolation, or work with a little team of people who are perhaps, like myself, fairly anonymous, not household names at all, but perhaps jobbing voice actors like me. So it's a fairly small world. So you tend to know, you get to know quite a few of the other people who we go on a little merry-go-round, and we all know each other and have worked together on and off over the years, and it's quite nice. It's lovely. The people I come across a lot, most of them are good friends of mine, and it doesn't become particularly competitive, and that's quite nice. So that's sort of how it's worked over the years.
Yeah, I mean, with American voice actors, you've got like 300 of them, like sprouted everywhere, like in New York or maybe in like Nashville, Tennessee, or mainly Los Angeles. But with British voice actors, you've got like the same 20 people on every single show. I mean, you've got you. If I can remember off the top of my head, there's you, Lizzie Waterworth, Emma Tate, Teresa Gallagher, Jimmy Hibbert, Rob Rackstraw, Keith Wickham, maybe a few others. If I didn't mention them, I do apologise. But
no, I think you've got a fairly good view of the sort of. Yeah, we're not the only people who do animation, but there are others.
Yeah, there are more. Yeah,
all been around quite a while, and we've done quite a lot between us. So yeah.
Yeah, those are the ones that just first came into my mind because I
That's
see them in everything. Everything I grew up with, they were in the credits. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so
Great.
it feels great, honestly, just talking to you and just thinking, like you were like the voice of my childhood. Pretty much every single kids' TV show I watched as a kid, like I would hear your voice or Lizzie's voice or Emma's voice.
Yeah,
It just feels great. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah. Well, I still occasionally work with them. We our paths cross. We're in touch. A lot of us we're in touch with each other, and in fact, I'll be seeing Lizzie Waterworth this coming Sunday for a premiere of a TV special film called Superworm, which is based on the book by Julia Donaldson, and that's going Christmas on BBC One, I think. It's a big special for them, half-hour special made by Magic Pictures.
Mhm.
And Lizzie and I have done additional voices on it, but we're not the stars. So the stars in that are going to be Olivia Colman,
yeah.
Rob Brydon, and I can't remember who else. And Lizzie and I fill in all the little sort of twiddly bits in between. So, but we get to go to the premiere, which is this coming Sunday.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, in a cinema in London. So, yeah.
Well, good for you too.
Invitation only.
Yeah, good for you too, though. I mean, even if
Yeah.
you were invited, even though you were in the
Oh,
initial
yeah.
cast members, yeah, I've noticed like with a lot of animated specials here, they always tend to get like for these like one-off Christmas specials, they tend to get like British celebrities to voice them. So yeah, I'm looking at it now. Yeah, Olivia Colman, Matt Smith, Patricia Allison, and Rob Brydon. It probably is more, but okay, it just doesn't say. Yeah, animation services are also provided by Blue Zoo Animation Studio.
Blue Zoo, yeah.
Yeah.
Blue Zoo. Yeah, so they've become a major player in the animation world in this country, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And Alphablocks and Numberblocks are made by Blue Zoo. The Paddington TV series,
Yeah.
you know, they've a lot of work going on. I worked on a series called Million Lou, which is one of their productions. I think I did 1 or 2 episodes of that. Anyway, this year. So they are really, they've become one of the most significant animation production companies in the UK at the moment. They aren't as big as Aardman, but their style is different, and the work they do is different to Aardman. And I think they're very successful and very nice, really good people to work with as well. They're smashing, and also they are great at encouraging new talent, particularly on the animation side. They like Aardman. Aardman have the Aardman Academy, which is a way of bringing new animation animators into the industry. But Blue Zoo are very good at inviting young, talented people to join them and training them up to become animators. And their work is very high standard. So in either case, anyone joining them they're lucky to start off with, but they're very unfortunate, but very fortunate. And hopefully it will establish them in a good career ahead.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, another company that was big, unfortunately not with us anymore, Cosgrove Hall Productions. I mean, you've done some of their shows, Lavender Castle, Oakie Doke. What was it like working on those shows?
Well, it was fantastic. I think I was very lucky that I got in at a time with them when they were still very busy as a production house. So they had a very strong commercial link with a company called Thames Television, who don't exist anymore. And they worked alongside Thames Television for I don't know, 20 years or something, but then they lost that.
1992, that was when they closed.
And so they had to go it alone, but they did carry on significantly for a good number of years, producing their own original work, but also acting as a service company. In other words, producing animation for other people. And but I was very, very fortunate in that I was given my first opportunities in animation. I'd done a couple of things before. I was picked up, as it were, by Cosgrove Hall, particularly by Mark Hall of the famous company, to whom I wrote whilst I was still at drama school in the late 80s. And I sent him a tape of my voices, and he responded very positively. I think it helped because I'm a northerner myself. I'm from Lancashire, so I don't know if that sort of helped swing it, but Mark obviously liked something I did on my tape of voices, and it was literally a tape. It was a cassette tape I sent him in those days, and he responded very quickly and asked me to come in and meet him and play around with a few characters and voices and what have you, which was great. That meeting eventually led to me being cast in Oakie Doke, and which was not a major series, but it was BBC. And in those days, you didn't have a million other channels to watch. So it made a significant impact. That we only did 26 episodes or something, I can't remember now. And it was a beautiful model animated series in which myself and Kate Harbour, she's the mate.
Another terrific voice actress.
Yeah, Kate Harbour and I did the voices of all the characters in the whole series. We shared them between us. And there are a lot of characters in that series. So it had and that was very significant for me because that was my first full animated TV series. And it led to much work from Cosgrove Hall as a result of that. So so Cosgrove Hall, for Cosgrove Hall, I worked on a good number of projects, and then all these other companies. And yes, it was quite a small industry in those days. There weren't many people around doing animation work, voice work, and I quickly got a lot of other work, and I was very lucky. It was a good time for me, and I was exceptionally lucky, and it set my career in motion really in the world of animation. Bear in mind also, I was doing loads of other stuff as well, which was work in just regular voiceover work for documentaries, promos and trailers. But also I have a significant body of work behind me in radio drama, and huge. I've done huge amounts of radio drama over the years, probably more than I've done animation. So, and that continued as well. So, and the two feed off each other. I think I'm very firmly of the opinion, strongly of the opinion that in order to be a voice artist for animation, you've got to be a good actor, and versatility of voices is secondary. The primary thing with animation is you've got to be a good actor, because only if you can give a good vocal acting performance can then the animators give a good animated performance to match it. So there we are.
Yeah.
My lecture is over. I need a sip of beer.
So, as you said, obviously Cosgrove Hall sort of they sort of 4 out of Thames television work, and then they ended up doing work for the BBC, which is obviously where Oakie Doke was done and stuff. And then they sort of leaned back towards ITV, but sort of doing work for Granada television. And Granada and Cosgrove Hall were both based in Manchester. So I think that's also contributed to the fact that you're a northerner, and also Manchester's up north. So Mark Hall must have said, "Oh yeah, you're a northerner. I like you."
Maybe I'm not convinced of that, but yes, I think it had a little sort of bit of an influence. I like to think it did.
Yeah, definitely. I was just wondering, what other Cosgrove Hall shows have you done aside from? Because I can't remember off the top of my head. I know you did Lavender Castle as well.
Lavender Castle.
What else?
Leica Balls.
Oh, Leica Balls. Yes, I remember now.
Bramley Hedge Stories, which was
Bramley Hedge, that was Hot Animation and Cosgrove Hall.
Yes, that's right.
Gosh,
now you're asking me about
Fetch the Vet.
Yes, and I did a few pilot things for them and some development work for them. Yes, over the years.
Yeah,
a lot. It amounted to a lot.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
is also the thing I found was that because I'd worked for Cosgrove Hall, it was quite a good way of introducing myself to other companies because they were very highly respected. Well, they still are, so it meant a lot to be able to contact somebody and say, I just worked on a series for Cosgrove Hall. Would you consider me for anything you're doing? And it paid off.
Yeah, I can see it definitely paid off. I mean, look at you now. You're big. Huge animation series.
I wouldn't say that, but I'm still here. Put it that way. I'm still here.
I have a Fetch the Vet kiddie ride downstairs in my garage.
Really?
I do indeed.
That's great.
Yeah, it's
wow.
Can't really see it, but
fantastic. I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool though. It's in bad nick, so I spend the day restoring it. So that was quite fun.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I was actually also wondering, have you ever met or come across any other American voice actors by any chance?
No, very, very seldom. Who did I work with?
I mean, there were a few.
Yeah, none of the big names. None of the, certainly not. They just didn't come over here to work. The money was never good enough. And of course, why would they? Because there was plenty of work over in the States for them. So no, alas, no. I've worked with lots of American actors who are based here.
Oh yeah, Lorelei King. Kerry Shell, yeah.
So yeah, I've been lucky, yes, and fortunate to work with a lot of American actors who've made careers over here.
And there was another one as well. Mike McShane, who was on Avenger Penguins.
Yeah, Mike McShane. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
He was principally a voice actor, to be honest. He was a big sort of personality actor.
Yeah.
I did work with the guy who did Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He did the voice of the sort of he was like he was the guy that was he was like kind of the hoodlum, I can't remember the character's name now. I'm sure your viewers will.
Was he the villain in Roger? I've never seen Roger Rabbit. Forgive me.
The original film, it had Bob Hoskins in it, and it was brilliantly animated. Animation live action mix.
I'm having a look at it now.
Don't worry about it. It's obscure, but not obscure, but the actor I'm thinking of is probably no longer with us.
Charles Fleischer was Roger Rabbit. There's a good voice cast though in that film. June Foray, Mel Blanc, Joe Lasky.
Babyface Herman, was it, or something like that? I can't remember the character's name.
Lou Hirsch.
Lou Hirsch.
Yeah, that was the guy who voiced him.
That's it. Yeah. So yeah, I did do something with him.
Oh
But
wow!
no,
I see.
I haven't actually worked with many famous American actors. I have on radio. I've worked with Kathleen Turner.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, she is pretty, and Stockard Channing. But they are more film actor in the case of film stroke theatre actors. So yeah.
Did you do voices on the film We're Back, a Dinosaur Story?
I did some what they call ADR, additional voice.
Oh, ADR, because Lou Hirsch worked on that film as well.
That's right.
Might have been
And
the
so
film.
did I.
So did
And
who?
so did
So did who? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I did.
Oh,
worked
yeah,
with-
sorry, I thought you could. Yeah, I'm having a look at the cast now. Yeah. Such a good cast.
But
Wow.
I won't be credited because I was just additional voice.
Yeah. You got the big names up there: John Goodman, Walter Cronkite, Kenneth Mars, Yeardley Smith, Reed Perlman. Yeah. And Charles Fleischer as well. Roger Rabbit as well. So yeah.
All those names, it wasn't a success.
Yeah, I had that film on VHS, but I don't remember watching it ever. So
No,
yeah.
it just didn't work, and it was a shame. But yeah, the production was based in Acton in West London.
Oh, was it? Oh, wow.
Yeah, amazingly. So yeah.
That's cool.
That was many years ago.
Yeah,
The
at
world-
least
world has
nearly
changed.
30 years ago.
Yeah, I know, that's right.
That's great.
That's it. That's been around even longer than that. So
That's crazy to think, to be fair. Like, it's like 30 years ago. I mean, I have siblings who were born in the early 90s, so, you know, they're 30 now, so it's kind of
I won't
hard
even
to
tell you how old I am. I don't want people to know. So
it's hard to sink in, you know, because I've grown up. It's weird because, like, with my siblings, they've grown up like half of their life without me, and then with me. But with me, I've known them my whole life, so it's weird.
Yeah, that's it. That's right.
Yeah, it's definitely, yeah. And obviously, they obviously would have grown up with you in multiple stuff like Oakie Doke and, you know,
Yes.
everything like that. I'm having a look now. Yeah, Percy the Park Keeper, Bramley Hedge, Little Monsters. I have DVDs of it. My brother has DVDs of the show in his room. So
Monsters. Gosh, yes, that's a dim memory.
yeah, there was a Little Monsters kiddie ride by Jolly Roger, but I don't believe they used any voices on it. It was just really just sound effects. It was yeah. Wow, I see. I'm having a look. Yeah, it was on CBBC. You and Janet James did it. You both did Fetch the Vet as well.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's really cool. So have you worked on any American productions by any chance?
No, I'm trying to think if I have. I think there may have been some productions that had American money, American backers. I mean, nowadays, I've done quite a lot of work on productions for Netflix, for example. Well, Netflix is American. So I don't know if you class them as American productions.
Yeah.
There is a new, there's an interesting project coming up on Netflix quite soon called the House Anthology, which is a 3-part animated series, 3 episodes. This was animated here in the UK. It's model animated too, and with all the models and sets by McKinnon and Saunders. Who
they're very good. Yeah.
just the absolute pinnacle of model animation production.
Yeah.
Based in Altrincham, I think.
Yeah, I think they did most Cosgrove Hall productions as well,
They did,
along with
yes.
like Bob the Builder and stuff like that.
They formed out of Cosgrove Hall.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
they actually have outlasted Cosgrove Hall, and they are very highly respected and in the animation world. So they have produced the models and sets for these 3 individual films. It's called the House Anthology, and they're coming out on Netflix very soon. And I've done some additional voice work on the second film, but there's some 1 or 2 fairly ritzy, starry names in them, including Jarvis Cocker.
Wow, that's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Well, he's very good.
Yeah, he did Huxley Pig back in the day, I think. Oh no, that was Martin Jarvis. Sorry,
Martin Jarvis. Don't get Martin Jarvis.
My friend always says Martin Jarvis Cocker. I'm like, please, don't get me confused again.
Jarvis Cocker was a singer, wasn't he, in a 90s band?
Yeah, and, he was.
He's now a broadcaster on the BBC. He's quite respectable now. But he did the voice of this particular character in the second film, in which I did additional voices.
Yeah.
And he's surprisingly good.
I'm having a look at the pictures now. They look really cool. Reminds me of the photos show needle-felted characters, some human and some Fantastic Mr. Fox like anthropomorphic animals, which Mackinnon and Saunders also did that models for Fantastic Mr. Fox, which is a film I also grew up with.
It's rather in the style of that. So but they're 3 individual films, and all 3 are totally different. So
Wow, it looks really good. And it comes out in January 14th.
It's not for children. None of them are for children.
Well, I'm 18 in February, so...
You're fine. They're very much adult themed and quite dark humour. Yeah. And in fact, the first one is hardly humorous at all. It's actually quite disturbing. But they're great. They're wonderful. So... And it's lovely that I don't work directly with Mackinnon and Saunders now, but the executive producer of Fetch the Vet and a couple of other things I did for Cosgrove Hall, he is now one of the senior people at Mackinnon and Saunders. His name is Chris Bowden. You'll see his name on various credits as a producer and executive producer.
Chris Bowden, let's just say Chris Bowden, Cosgrove Hall. Oh, I see. Oh, wow. He's got his what is it? CV. That's it. That's what they're called. I completely forgot the name there. Yeah, his CV is just online. I'm just looking at it now. Wow, he's done Moon and Me, Rah Rah the Noisy Lion, Postman by SDS, Twirly Woos, Toby's Travelling Circus, Rory the Racing Car, Fifi the Flower Tots, Fetch the Vet, Noddy, Lavender Castle, Oakie Doke. Oh my gosh! And wow, and he did the original Winnie the Pooh stop motion animation that Cosgrove Hall were gonna do, because they had it planned in 1998, but it was then canned because Disney wanted to just stay with the 2D animated route.
I worked on the pilot.
Did you?
Yes, I worked on the pilot.
Wow, who did you voice?
I can't remember. Not Pooh, but I don't know. I can't remember now.
Wow, that's so cool.
It never happened. It never happened. It was such a shame.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen animation tests. They look really good.
It could have been another classic, I think, if it had gone ahead. But
Disney was like, nah, we're sticking with the 2D animation.
Yeah, that's showbiz.
Yeah, but I've heard there was going to be, like, I think Martin Clunes and Jim Broadbent were involved at some point.
Yes, they were. You're right.
Oh, wow!
I remember recording with them, yes.
Really? Oh my gosh! So I always thought they were going to utilize the original US voice actors like Jim Cummings and Peter Cullen and Paul Winchell, but no. Who else did you record with?
Oh, don't ask me. I can't remember.
But wow, I didn't know that.
I just cannot remember, so I can't even tell you. But I was in on it, but it didn't go any further. There we go.
Wow, I didn't know that you worked on the pilot as well. I was thinking, Cosgrove Hall pilot. Well, when I first found out about it, I was like, yeah, they've probably got some, mainstays involved in that, like David Holt, Kate Harbour, and I was right.
You were right.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I think Kate might have worked on it too. Yeah, but yeah.
Wow. Have you seen Kate in recent days?
We not I wouldn't say yes. Earlier this year, yes, I have. I worked with her. Yeah.
Oh, that's
My annual masterclass that I do for the National Film and Television School animation directors. In the first year, I do a little module which takes 3 days, where I introduce the students to the whole concept and topic of voice recording for animation. And Kate came and joined me, and she was just absolutely on top form, and she was so wonderful with the students, and they were bowled over by her talent. So Kate and I go back a long
you did
way.
Oakie Doke together, so she was technically there from the start.
That was our first job together, and more recent times we were in Shaun the Sheep Farmageddon, the feature film. So and she's a regular in Shaun the Sheep. There's a TV special, of course, coming up at Christmas. Shaun the Sheep, Flight Before Christmas.
Oh yeah, I've seen her promote that on her Instagram. I've seen
Well, of course, Kate is one of the regular voices in Shaun. She does 2 or 3 characters.
She does Shirley, the main big sheep, I think.
Yes, and Timmy or Timmy's mum or something. Anyway, but Kate and I sort of technically have worked together on this special, because I came in again to do additional voices on it. So but it's a great film. I'd certainly recommend it, and very well worth watching. Again, I think that's going to be Christmas Day, if I'm not mistaken. So I think I might be all over the schedules of Christmas. most likely.
I'm having a look. Well, it just says she's additional voices, but it's mainly Timmy's mum, to be fair. I don't know who voices Shirley. Probably is her, but uncredited, because I mean there was quite a big handful of voice actors on that show.
Yes.
John Sparks, Emma Tate, Andy Nyman, Simon Greenall, and Justin Fletcher. Have you ever worked on a show with Justin Fletcher before?
I've not worked with him, but we used to meet occasionally in studios. So Justin, yes, he's got this sort of major career now as Mr. Tumble, and other related things.
Mr. Tumble, Numberblocks out back to back. That's what my nephew watches. So yeah.
Good.
He watches CBeebies, just all sorts of different shows,
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's the wonderful thing about CBeebies. It is so entertaining. It's so full of amazing original content, a lot of which has been produced here in the UK. So I'm always fighting the corner for the BBC. I think it's essential that we hang on to the BBC. It's a force for good.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. So let me ask you more about your dubbing roles for obviously American shows that came over here. Obviously you've done Miss Spider, Oswald, Maggie and the Ferocious Beast, Timu Mizumi. It's a big, big world. So what's it like sort of dubbing over those? I know you have to obviously like match your voice to their their mouths. It has to be in sync and stuff like that. So what's it like?
So yes, when you're dubbing, whether it's live action or animation, it's much more of a technical exercise. But you still have to be artistic with it. The problem you have is that you are hidebound. You are restricted by somebody else's performance. You have to match their timing, the mouth movements on the screen, and probably the emotional content, the emotional intent of the character. It's tricky. You always work on your own. It's difficult because you're not reacting to other people in the studio, whereas with original animation recording, you tend to work it's much better when you work in the studio with other actors and you can bounce off each other. With dubbing, you don't have that luxury. You are on your own. You've got to, with a director and an engineer, studio engineer. It's very tricky, and quite often there's a lot to get through. You have to work fast, and you're doing three things. You're reading the script, you're looking at the screen, and you're trying to act at the same time and give an accurate timing to what you're seeing on screen. So it becomes really technical, and at the same time you have to give a funny, entertaining performance. So it isn't easy. It's certainly with major characters. It takes a lot of concentration and focus and energy. So yeah, and as I say, you can't even claim credit for creating the character because it's somebody else has done it for you, and you're trying to do a sort of British version of what they did in America or Italy or Japan originally. So yeah, it has its challenges, but I don't mind that. It's work, and I'm happy to do it, and I'm fairly good at it. So yeah.
Nice one.
I hope that helps you.
It helps. It definitely does help me. Yeah. I'd like to ask about It's a Big World. Now, I know you've done hundreds of voice jobs, and I'm not sure if you can remember it. Do you remember doing it at all? Because there's pretty much no information out there about the UK dub.
No, I just remember it being it's a UK dub of an American or Canadian series. So there's very little I can remember about it. I can't even remember how many episodes we did. Probably 52. I guess 52. I do remember, a lot of work on the series, but it's a good number of years ago, Amber, and I'm struggling to remember any of the characters that I did in it.
I know you were the main sloth, Snook. Or Snook.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah. That's...
I think it was called Snook.
Snook.
Yeah.
That's all I remember. Like, I
remember.
There's no recordings anywhere. All I just remember is I was going over in my head and I was thinking, I'm pretty sure David Holt was the voice of the main character, and then my thought was confirmed when I saw a promo and it was your voice. I was like, I knew it. I knew it was him.
Yeah.
So,
and I probably have done some of the other characters in it as well.
Yeah, I can't remember any others. All I just remember is the intro. That's all I remember. I probably, it was probably because I've got a big memory. I know you did a face for the British Nick Jr. Block? Well, it was a block. No, channel. Excuse me. So do you get a lot of people asking about? I know, obviously, my friend Isaac interviewed you, and he mainly spoke about face. But I know I like to spread all across your career. So like doing face.
I did face for, I think it was about 5 years. I mean, it was because he was a continuity announcer in a way. So he introduced programs, and they had the American version. So everything that we did, all those links where I'm the voice of face, they were all originally produced for the American Nick Jr. channel with an American voice. And he had a kind of weird voice like
Chris Phillips, I believe his name was.
Is that who it was?
Yeah.
Oh, look what's coming soon on Nick Jr.
Wow, that's actually accurate.
I know. And I had to do my version. Again, it was a dubbing job. I literally had to match everything about his delivery. But of course, we had to change that. They changed a few things in the script just to take out some of the American idioms. But so I did that job on and off. I did it off for 5 years, and it was one of these smashing, really lovely regular jobs, and I got to know the director very well. And it was, it would be, say, one recording session per month of an hour or 2 hours. But it was a lovely job, and so nice that people still remember the British face. I'm sure in America they remember the American face as well. But yeah, so that's right.
Alas,
remember
I don't remember him at
he
all.
had a little sign-off thing.
Yeah, it's like a trumpet. Yeah, like
So-
yeah. I can't do it. I can't do it properly. Yeah. Alas, I don't remember growing up with Face at all, because obviously, like 2006, 2007, that was slowly when he was sort of being phased out, and then it was just like, the continual things with the lady announcing it and all the bumpers and with the different animals and stuff. Yeah. So I only know about it through YouTube videos and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yes, I was sad. I was sad when it finished, and they weren't very nice to me. They unfortunately they didn't even tell me that he finished.
That sucks.
No, actors are the last people to know about anything, and I feel very sad that they treated me like that. I felt I deserved better when I'd worked for them for 5 years, and just they didn't even tell me that it had been dropped. The phone didn't ring anymore, and eventually I got my agent to make some inquiries, and they said, "Oh no, we're not using Face anymore." But they hadn't even the courtesy to tell me, and I felt very hurt by that, because I think I'd done a good job for them and been loyal to them. Anyway, it's past. It's in the past. There it is.
Yeah, they did that. I think that was probably definitely rude of them. I mean, the actors are the other person in the party who have to do the hard work, and that's like saying all the lines and stuff like that.
Yep. That's showbiz.
At least you went on and did some really good shows, and it shows shows what kind of people they are. They're thus, not yours. I always say.
That's it's history.
I've
got to.
Yeah. Well, good for you, David. I also like to ask, what cartoons or shows did you grow up watching? May I ask?
Well, I would say I'm a child of the 60s, so I do remember being taken to see the Aristocats, which was a wonderful animated feature film that came out in the about 1970, I think. Bedknobs and Broomsticks. I was never taken to see The Jungle Book, which I always grated on me, because it's a masterpiece. It really is.
And then obviously you did Shere Khan for the CGI Jungle Book.
Yes, absolutely, and Car. So at a later date. So, yes, in terms of on television, I guess there were a lot of sort of British animation productions at the time. It's a good question.
Yeah.
Pogleswood,
yeah, very obscure. Very obscure.
Gambit Green, the Clangers. Then there was a certain American series that I enjoyed. The Wacky Races, Top Cat, Muttley. Some of them, Scooby-Doo, the original Scooby-Doo. I wasn't hugely mad about those. In a way, I slightly prefer the British ones, really. But
same.
But I'd say honestly, and it's not an animation, but I would say possibly the most memorable and significant children's TV that I watched and was addicted to was Thunderbirds. And this, was the original Thunderbirds from the 1960s, and it was, and certain other Anderson productions, Captain Scarlet and Joe 90. I always looked like Joe 90 when I was a boy because I wore glasses,
Oh.
like this. So.
Oh, wow.
So.
Wow. Yeah, I can see the
And
resemblance still.
yeah, so a lot of it. I mean, he didn't do animation at that stage, Jerry Anderson, but
Yeah.
he those shows of his, Captain Scarlet, Joe 90, Thunderbirds, particularly, they were very formative for me.
Yeah. Super Mario Nation. That's what
Super Mario Nation. Yeah.
Really cool. Really.
So
cool.
yeah, I hope that answers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I grew up with similar shows, because Nick Jr. had a block called Nick Jr. Classics, and they'd air like Clangers, Bagpuss, and I Have All the Engine, and Rainbow, and Button Moon, and all stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I pretty much was raised. I was because I would have only been about like 3, 4 at the time. I'd always go to bed. Well, obviously I didn't have a TV in my room as a kid, but I just remember going into my parents' room, just sitting on the bed in my little PJs, you know, just catching the tail end of Nick Jr. and then Nick Jr. Classes, and I'd always fall asleep like halfway through. And to think it was on until like 10 o'clock at night, like. Nowadays, I'd be up until like 12 o'clock. Like 10 o'clock's just another day in the life of me. But no, I'd only catch like 2 episodes of Camp Green before falling asleep. So, you know.
Yeah. It's comfort.
Yeah, definitely. I have most of them on like video and DVD now, so I can just watch them whenever I feel like it. And with like American cartoons, yeah, Wacky Races, Top Cat, Tom and Jerry. I used to watch them on Boomerang all the time.
Oh. And Tom and Jerry is just absolutely, it's outstanding. Even at the time, it was outstanding, and now they are absolutely, they're works of genius. And of course, the Looney Tunes. I mean, that whole Warner Brothers canon of extraordinary short films, most of which were voiced by Mel Blanc.
Yeah.
So I should mention that because I mean, obviously, he was a major influence on me, and he was really the first actor ever to get a sole credit as a voice characterizations, and at the front of each film, in the titles, not in the end credits. It was always in the opening titles of the Warner Brothers Looney Tunes cartoons, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Roadrunner, etc., etc. So he was a star, but he sort of created the genre, really. So he's absolutely been, anything with his voice in it has certainly influenced me over the years.
Yeah, I agree too. And also, I say the Mel Blanc of our day, Frank Welker, who, as you said, Scooby-Doo before, Frank's been voicing Fred Jones since 1969. So.
Yes, Frank's been around a long time.
I'm actually speaking to him tomorrow, actually. There's a website called GalaxyCon, and they do like ever since the pandemic, they've started like doing like online panels and one-to-one video chats that you can like spend like 2 minutes. And yeah, I've brought on with Frank, and it's gonna be my 3rd time talking to him.
Excellent. Well, he's absolutely. He's up there in the on the A list, definitely.
Yeah, and he has been to England before. He did his first UK appearance just before COVID in Liverpool, and he says he hopes to see London one day. I'm like, I want to get you on a British production. I want you to meet all of these British childhood actors, my favourite voice actors of mine, and and just hopefully maybe he says maybe when he cuts down on his days of work, when he slowly goes into retirement, I don't know when that's going to be. I can't speak on his behalf, but maybe one day. Hopefully we'll get him over here again.
Yeah. Excellent.
Lovely, man. David, where can we find you on social media?
Okay, you can find me on Instagram. I am David Holt, voice actor. You can find me on Twitter, where I am David Holt actor. And professionally, but strictly professionally, I'm on LinkedIn. You'll have to search for me there. Yes, otherwise, that's the way to sort of keep up with what I'm doing. I tend to use Instagram a bit more than Twitter. I find Twitter a bit frustrating. But I'm there. So please feel free to follow me or contact me that way. And I'm very happy to take part in this today. And I hope what I've said has been of some interest to
definitely.
you, Amber, and to the people watching as well. It's a small world in the UK. I've been very, very fortunate to be a part of it, and had up to now a very good career doing it. So I very much intend and hope to continue. So keep a lookout for what I'm doing, and to keep your ears open.
Sweet. Oh yeah, that's another thing that you've done. Very recently, Lionheart Tales. You were live action
Tales.
and voice acting.
It's a new project. It's in early stages of development, and I am
You're grandpa in it, aren't you?
Sort of grandfather in it, a grandfather character, and who ends up narrating each episode. So we've only done 4 episodes so far, but I'm very hopeful that there are going to be lots more. And it's a lovely, lovely project. Please follow it. Yeah,
it's cool. I'll also link their pages in the description, their YouTube channel, and and their Facebook and everything like that.
Yeah, great. I know they'll appreciate it very much. Yeah.
Yeah.
And look out for the new Alphablocks and Numberblocks mashup episodes, which are absolutely outstanding.
I've been waiting for this for years.
They are so brilliant, and I just urge you all to try and find them and watch them if you can. And I'm very proud to be a part of them.
Both shows as well.
Yep.
Yeah, you got you got Beth Chalmers. I know Beth Chalmers is Numberblocks. I can't remember who the other 2 voice actors in it are. I know you got Lizzie Waterworth and Teresa Gallagher in Alphablocks. So yeah.
Yes, and there are people like Rasmus Hardiker and Marcel McCalla, and one or 2 others. But we each of us do quite a number of characters. So in Numberblocks, but Alphablocks is just Lizzie Waterworth Santo, Teresa Gallagher, and me.
Wow, there's 20, 26 characters over 3 people.
Yes,
amazing.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, wow. I can just hear the voice of some of your. Yeah, you were. I think you were T. I remember you was T. I remember you was D.
Yes, that's right.
Oh my gosh. My nephew plays on this Alphablocks app all day, and I think Tina rates it, so I just hear your voice every single morning in my house.
T is one of my favorite characters.
Oh my gosh. Wow. It's just like how I hear it on the app. It feels surreal. Wow. Oh, wow. David, you've been an absolute pleasure to talk to. Definitely.
Thank you very much. And I've really enjoyed talking to you as well, Amber. And I wish you all the very best with your career and your studies and your graduation and shows. And I wish all your viewers and followers all the very best. And thanks for watching.
Definitely said it well, David. So to you at home, thank you so much for watching. It's goodbye from me and David. Stay happy, stay positive, and keep smiling. Bye. And
Bye.
cut.